I'm Mia, 28 years old. I married Oliver 5 years ago. We don't have children yet because of our busy work lives. Oliver and I met through a friend's introduction and we hit it off right away. Half a year later, we got married. Oliver works as a salaryman for a local company. The company isn't very large, so Oliver's salary is moderate. As for our home, my father-in-law spontaneously bought us a luxurious high-rise apartment when we got married. Unfortunately, he passed away suddenly from a heart attack, and Oliver suggested to his mother, my mother-in-law, that she should move in with us. One day, Oliver came home from work to find mother-in-law at our place. He exclaimed joyfully,
"Living with Mom? Yes, here's my paycheck."
It was payday at Oliver's company, so he happily handed the pay stub to mother-in-law. Mother-in-law accepted the pay stub with polite gratitude. Eventually, mother-in-law moved into the high-rise apartment and Oliver's days seemed to become filled with joy as they started living together. About 3 months after our marriage, I noticed something. Mother-in-law was incredibly obsessed with cleanliness to the point of being a neat freak. If a speck of dust fell on the dining table, she would be so upset that she would stop eating, and this happened more than once. If there was even one hair in the bathtub, it would cause a commotion and she would demand that the water be completely replaced. At first, I was puzzled by mother-in-law's obsession with cleanliness, but now I have gotten used to it. And I know what to be careful about, so I feel more at ease. Mother-in-law is very strict with me but very kind to my husband Oliver. When Oliver comes home from work, mother-in-law waits for him at the front door, taking his bag as soon as he opens the door. Then she asks, "Do you want to shower first or have dinner?" If Oliver says he wants to shower first, mother-in-law promptly prepares a towel and a change of clothes and even joins him in the bathroom to wash his back. Then she dries him with a towel when he comes out of the bath. About dinner, mother-in-law had something to tell me when she started living with us. "I know all about Oliver's likes and dislikes, so I'll be the one to make Oliver's food." After my mother-in-law said that, I no longer had to make Oliver's meals. As days went by, I felt more and more out of place. Oliver was always concerned about his mother's mood and he stopped talking to me as much. One day, I asked Oliver, who do you value more, me or your mom?"
What kind of silly question is that? Of course, both of you are important.
"I don't feel that way."
Don't worry about it.
A few days later, I saw something I wasn't supposed to. I was doing all the laundry, but mother-in-law was hand-washing her clothes again after I had washed them. She must think my washing doesn't get the dirt out. I was so shocked that I asked mother-in-law, "Mother-in-law, are you unhappy with my laundry?" "Oh, you saw me? It's not that I am dissatisfied, but I prefer to wash them myself." "Then can you put your laundry in a separate basket next time? I won't touch anything in that basket." "My, what an impertinent daughter-in-law. Oliver must feel so sorry to have you as a wife." Why would he feel sorry? Please explain clearly." "Enough of this. I don't want to talk to a daughter-in-law like you." "I understand." That night, I planned to talk to Oliver about mother-in-law when he got home, but as usual, mother-in-law was waiting at the entrance and they went straight to the shower together. In the bathroom, I heard mother-in-law talking excitedly, probably bad-mouthing me. Oliver came out, glanced at me, but said nothing and had dinner with his mother. After dinner, as soon as Oliver and I went into the bedroom, he burst out,
"Mia, I heard you said terrible things to Mom. Why are you bullying her?"
"I never said anything terrible, and I am not bullying her."
"Mom was crying earlier. She said you were bullying her."
"Oliver, you only believe what mother-in-law says, not me."
Hey, don't get cheeky. I believe Mom. If you don't want to live with her, you should leave."
At that moment, I felt that our marriage was a failure, and I was thinking of getting divorced if something triggered it. No, I was waiting for something to trigger it. About a month later, I was cleaning the room one morning. As I was cleaning around the bed, I found a lot of trash. I was puzzled but removed it. That's when it happened. I felt someone's presence and looked towards the door to see mother-in-law standing there. She must have been watching how I cleaned. Sure enough, mother-in-law started, "Your cleaning just makes the room dirtier, and you seem to ignore what's under the bed." I hadn't really paid attention to what was under the bed, so when I looked, there was a mess of trash. The sort that we wouldn't normally use. I picked up one of the trash and showed it to mother-in-law, asking, "Mother-in-law, what is this trash? We don't have this kind of trash in our house." Mother-in-law responded with an angry face. "What's with that tone? It's like you're accusing me of bringing that trash in from outside and throwing it under the bed." I was, indeed, thinking that it was exactly like that, but without evidence, I couldn't say it out loud. "I'm not accusing you, I'm just saying that I found trash that I haven't seen before." "You are always so defiant. Can't you simply apologize for not cleaning properly?" "I don't think I need to apologize that much." "Oh, how dreadful. A daughter-in-law defying her mother-in-law. The world is coming to an end." "I'm not defying you. If I were Oliver, I would kick out a daughter-in-law like you. Poor Oliver." At that moment, I was so glad to hear those words which I had been waiting for. "Understood. I'll do as mother-in-law says. I'll leave now." Mother-in-law seemed a bit surprised by those words. I continued, "Since I'm a terrible wife for Oliver, I'll divorce him." Mother-in-law said with a pleased face, "Oh, really? That's too bad. Oliver will miss you." "I guess so, but I feel relieved." That's when I decided to divorce Oliver. That night, when Oliver came home from work, he and mother-in-law were whispering in the bathroom as usual. When Oliver came out, he said to me,
I heard from Mom that you want to divorce me. I don't mind, but are you sure?
"You don't love me. I can't live with you anymore."
Alright, I understand. I'll take care of all the divorce procedures.
For some reason, Oliver wanted to finish the process quickly. "You don't have to worry. I won't demand alimony."
That's a given. That's my line.
The next day, I packed my belongings and left the luxurious high-rise apartment. Thinking back, my mother-in-law and husband were conspiring to kick me out of the upscale apartment. They must both be satisfied. I visited a friend from college after being kicked out. Amy glanced at my luggage and said, "Mia, did you leave your house?" "You caught me." "I could tell right away by your luggage." My friend was still single, so I asked to stay for a while. Sorry, but can I stay here for a bit?" "Of course, you can stay as long as you want." "Thank you." I truly felt the importance of having a best friend. Since she helped me when I was in trouble, I made a mental promise to help Amy if she ever needed it. The following week, I had to go to the high-rise apartment. I got a call from mother-in-law saying that my signature was needed on the divorce papers. I didn't want to go, but since it was a signature for the divorce papers, I reluctantly left. When I arrived at the high-rise apartment, mother-in-law and Oliver seemed overly pleased about having driven me out. It felt like they were gloating. "Oh, Mia, it's been a while. You look well." Mother-in-law was speaking in a way that made my teeth grate. Oliver was smiling, saying something he had never said to me before.
Mia, how are you? Always take care of yourself.
Their words gave me a chill. "I have brought the signed divorce papers. Oliver, please sign them and submit them. Goodbye." I was about to go home, but mother-in-law said, "Mia, don't hurry home. Stay and relax."
Yeah, stay and eat something.
"Actually, the meal is already prepared. It's your favorite." Reluctantly, I stayed for a meal at Oliver's home, thinking that if Oliver and mother-in-law had been this attentive before, we would never have divorced. Mother-in-law and Oliver didn't seem to want me to leave even after dinner. I had a bad feeling. I felt like there was some ulterior motive, and my suspicion was confirmed. Mother-in-law said, "By the way, Mia, Oliver's company has gone bankrupt and we have lost our income. About the compensation money in the divorce case." I felt like I understood the reason for today's unusual kindness when mother-in-law mentioned the compensation money in the divorce. We agreed to waive the compensation money in the divorce case, didn't we?
I didn't say that.
I didn't hear that conversation either. No, you definitely said it when I said I wouldn't claim the compensation money in the divorce. Oliver said it was obvious, and that was his line.
I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have evidence?
I thought these two are no good. Now they want the compensation money from the divorce and are going back on their previous promise. Reluctantly, I took 2 documents from my bag. They were the pay stubs of Oliver and me just before we separated. I had taken them with me when I left the high-rise apartment just in case. Here are Oliver's and my pay stubs. Please take a close look. My salary written on those 2 pay stubs was more than twice Oliver's. The company I worked for was very strict, but the salary was very good, and my college friends were envious.
So what? Do you want to brag about your salary by showing us this?
You are such a rotten woman, Oliver. It's good that you divorced her. Say what you want, but as you can see from these pay stubs, almost all the living expenses were covered by my salary.
What are you trying to say?
Moreover, Oliver spent all his salary on himself.
What's wrong with me spending my own money?
Is what this woman's saying true, Oliver? Oliver just makes a face as if he's bitten into something bitter and says nothing. What I want to say is that Oliver has never supported me financially as a husband.
We were getting by on your salary, so what's wrong with that?
No, it's not okay. Oliver, I asked you before to contribute some of your salary to our living expenses, didn't I?
I don't know.
That's right. Just like now, Oliver pretended not to know. Oliver, answer properly. If you respond like that, you will lose to this woman. And there's one more thing, probably something even mother-in-law doesn't know. What is it? Tell me. Oliver has a large debt from payday loans and the like, right? As I said this, Oliver clicked his tongue and looked away. Mother-in-law said, What about it, Oliver? Do you really have debt? Answer me. Oliver, still looking away, answered,
Yeah, but I'll win it back with horse racing and pay it all off, so it's no problem.
Oliver, how much debt do you have?
Well, if I sell this high-rise apartment, it's enough to wipe out the debt.
Oh, Oliver, how could you? Mother-in-law started crying at that. How about selling this high-rise apartment for your beloved Oliver, mother-in-law? Mother-in-law didn't answer and was only crouched down crying. I have no intention of paying compensation in a divorce trial to someone who hasn't cooperated with me in our married life.
My debt and compensation in the divorce trial are different matters.
No, they're not separate matters. If Oliver and mother-in-law are unhappy, please take it to court. I don't intend to lose. Then mother-in-law said to me, Mia, please help Oliver, I beg you. And mother-in-law deeply apologized to me. Mother-in-law, please lift your face. Don't do that in front of me. It's unseemly.
You're really a cold woman. Do you enjoy bullying an old person?
I am not bullying mother-in-law. I'm just telling the truth.
Just leave. Don't ever come back here again.
I said to Oliver with a faint smile, Even without being told, I have no intention of coming back here again. Besides, I might have to sell this high-rise apartment to pay off the debt.
Shut up. Just leave.
Oliver said excitedly, and I went home as if fleeing. After about 2 months had passed, Oliver's high-rise apartment was put up for sale as expected, and it seemed a buyer had been found. Mother-in-law and Oliver moved to an apartment near the high-rise building. Mother-in-law worked as a cleaner at a nearby hotel, and Oliver found a job at a nearby transport company, working hard every day. I found out thanks to my friend who checked for me. Now, I'm working hard, of course, but I have found another passion. I met a wonderful man at a coffee shop after work. He is very kind and always listens to my opinions fully. But this time, I'm not planning to get married easily. Having failed in marriage with Oliver, I'm thinking about carefully assessing my partner before marrying again. That said, we have been seeing each other almost every day recently. Meeting with him daily feels like it's recharging my energy for work. Today, since both of us have a day off from work, we are planning to visit the model room of a high-rise apartment. I want to live in a high-rise apartment overlooking the sea with him, sipping coffee on the living room sofa while gazing at the ocean. He says he wants to see the sunrise every day, and someday, I think I would like to have a baby with him.